Hey y'all. Today we're going to be discussing elements and atoms of each element today. We're going to start off with aluminum. So here I have a piece of aluminum. Okay, it's shiny, it's malleable, it can be crushed down into a wire and stretched down into wire if it's heated. We're going to cut it in half. Okay. And do they still have the same properties? Are they still shiny? Can they still be bent? And are they still ductile? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to cut that in half. Do we still have the same properties? Yep. I'm going to cut that in half. Okay. Do they still have the same properties? Absolutely. Okay. Cut that in half. Is it still malleable, ductile, shiny? Yes. Is it still a conductor? Yes. Okay. Cut it in half. It's still same properties. Cut that in half. Still same properties. Cut that in half. Still same properties. Cut that in half. It still has the same properties. So if we look at a bigger piece versus the smaller piece, okay, it's still the same thing. Why? Because aluminum is an element. Okay, aluminum is a simple substance that cannot be broken down into a smaller substance other than an atom. And so if we were to break this down or tear it down to a tiny atom, even the atom would have the same properties as the aluminum. So that takes me to the periodic table of elements. So it's important to realize that the whole table is all different elements. So elements is that pure substance that that we're talking about as far as the properties. So aluminum, which can be found here, it is atomic number 13. Okay, it is its own pure substance. So any atom of it is going to contain the same properties or characteristics. Okay. So what is a characteristic? Like when we describe something, that's a characteristic. Okay. If we look at other things that we're aware of, like H2O. H2O, you all know, is water. Well, H2O is 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. So looking at that, okay, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. So H2O, is it a pure substance? No. It is a compound. Why? Because it's composed of 2 different elements. Okay, so with that said, when we talk about elements in their pure form, so by themselves, they will always have the characteristics that all the other atoms have of that same element. So what I'm trying to say is like nitrogen. Nitrogen, one atom of nitrogen is going to have the same characteristics as another atom of nitrogen. So all the atoms of nitrogen will have the same characteristics, as will carbon. All the atoms of carbon will have its own characteristics, but all the carbon atoms will have all the same characteristics. Okay, why? Because it's a pure substance. So by the time we are done with this unit, you'll look at how we have studied atoms and how its configuration helps to define those characters. So looking at the atom and how it's built, whether it be the protons, neutrons, and the electrons of it, help us to better understand how it's going to react in the natural world.